Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayamudire
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna, welcome back to resume our Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are supposed to complete the Canto 1, but somehow it got delayed. So we are going to start our reading sessions of the Canto 1, 16.2 onwards. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 2. Sa uttarasya tanayam
Sa Uttarasya Tanayam
upaye mairavatim
Upaye Ma Iravatim
janame jayadhims chaturas
Janame Jayadhims Chaturas
tasyam utpadayat suthan.
Tasyam Utpadayat Sutan
Sa uttarasya tanayam
Sa Uttarasya Tanayam
upaye mairavatim
Upaye Ma Iravatim
janame jayadhims chaturas
Janame Jayadhims Chaturas
tasyam utpadayat suthan.
Tasyam Utpadayat Sutan
Sa uttarasya tanayam
Sa
Sa
uttarasya
Uttarasya Tanayam
Upayema iravatim
Upaye Ma Iravatim
janame jayadim chaturas
Janame Jayadhims Chaturas
tasyam utpadayat sutan.
Tasyam Utpadayat Sutan.
Nandakumar.
Sa Uttarasya Tanayam
Sa uttarasya tanayam
Upaye Ma Iravatim
upayema iravati
Janame Jayadhims Chaturas
janame jayadhim chaturas
Tasyam Utpadayat Sutan.
tasyam utpadayat sutan. Translation purport by Sri Grisabhi Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Synonyms: Sa, he.
Sahi.
Uttarasya of King Uttara.
Uttarasya of King Uttara.
Thanayam, daughter.
Tanayam, daughter.
Upayeme, married.
Upayeme, married.
Iravatim, Iravati.
Iravatim, Iravati.
Maybe Iravati. Janame Jaya Adhin, headed by Maharaja Janame Jaya.
Janame Jaya Adin, headed by Maharaja Janame Jaya.
Chatura, 4.
Chatura, 4.
Tasyam, in her.
Tasyam, in her.
Utpadayet, begot.
Utpadayat, begot.
Sutan, sons.
Sutan, sons.
Translation, please repeat after me. King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttara.
King Parikshit married the daughter of Uttara
And begot 4 sons.
and begot 4
And
sons.
begot 4 sons.
Headed by Maharaja Janamejaya.
Headed by Maharaja Janamejaya.
Jaya.
Purport.
Maharaja Uttara was the son of Virata and maternal uncle of Maharaja Parikshit. Iravati, being the daughter of Maharaja Uttara, was the cousin sister of Maharaja Parikshit, but cousin brothers and sisters were allowed to get married if they did not belong to the same gotra or family. In the Vedic system of marriage, the importance of the gotra or family was stressed. Arjuna also married Subhadra, although she was his maternal cousin sister. Janamejaya. Janamejaya, one of the Rajarishi kings and the famous son of Maharaja Parikshit. His mother's name was Iravati, or according to some, Matravati. Maharaja Janamejaya begot 2 sons of the names Natanika and Sankukarna. He celebrated several sacrifices in the Kurukshetra pilgrimage site, and he had 3 younger brothers named Srutasena, Ugrasena, and Bhimasena too. He invaded the Taksashila, Ajanta, and he decided to avenge the unlawful curse upon his great father, Maharaja Parikshit. He performed a great sacrifice called Sarpa Yagya to kill the race of serpents, including the Takshaka, which had bitten his father to death. On request from many influential demigods and sages, he had to change his decision to kill the race of snakes. But despite stopping the sacrifice, he satisfied everyone concerned in the sacrifice by rewarding them properly. In the ceremony, Mahamuni Vyasadeva also was present, and he personally narrated the history of the Battle of Kurukshetra before the king. Later on, by the order of Vyasadeva, his disciple Vaishampayana narrated before the king the subject matter of Mahabharata. He was much affected by his great father's untimely death and was very anxious to see him again. And he expressed his desire before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vyasadeva. Expressed his desire before the great sage Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva also fulfilled his desire. His father was present before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vyasadeva with great respect and pomp. Being fully satisfied, he most munificently gave charity to the Brahmanas present at the sacrifice.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 3. Ajahara swamedam strin.
Ajaharasvamedam strin.
Gangayam puri dakshinan.
Gangayam puri dakshinam.
Sharadvatam gurum krutva.
Sharadvatam Guru Kritva
Devayatra kshigochara.
Devayatra
Gochara.
Synonyms. Ajahara, performed.
Ajahara performed.
Ashwamedhan, hot sacrifices.
Ashwamedhan, horse sacrifices.
Threen, 3.
Three.
Gangayam, the bank of the Ganges.
Gangayam, the bank of the Ganges.
Bhuri, sufficiently.
Sufficiently.
Dakshinam, rewards.
Dakshinam, rewards.
Saradvatam unto Kripacharya,
Saratvatam unto Kripacharya,
Gurum, spiritual master,
Guru, spiritual master,
Kritva, having selected,
Kritva, having selected,
Deva, the demigods,
Deva, the demigods,
Yatra, wherein,
Yatra, wherein,
Akshi, ice,
Akshi, eyes,
Gochara, within the pure purview.
Gochara, within the purview.
Translation, please repeat after me. Maharaja Parikshit, after having selected Kripacharya,
Maharaja Parikshit, after having selected Kripacharya
for guidance as his spiritual master,
for guidance as his spiritual master,
performed 3 heart sacrifices in the banks of the Ganges.
performed 3 horse sacrifices on the banks of the Ganges.
These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendance.
These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendants.
And at these sacrifices,
And at these sacrifices,
even the common man could see demigods.
even the common man could see demigods.
Purport.
It appears from this verse that interplanetary travel by the denizens of higher planets is easy. In many statements in Bhagavatam, we have observed that the demigods from heaven used to visit this earth to attend sacrifices performed by influential kings and emperors. Herein also we find that during the time of the horse sacrifice ceremony of Maharaja Parikshit, the demigods from other planets were visible even to the common man due to the sacrificial ceremony. The demigods are not generally visible to common men, as the Lord is not visible, but as the Lord, by his causeless mercy, descends to be visible to the common man. Similarly, the demigods also become visible to the common man by their own grace. Although celestial beings are not visible to the naked eyes of the inhabitants of this earth, it was due to the influence of Maharaja Parikshit that demigods also agreed to be visible. The kings used to spend lavishly during such sacrifices as a cloud distributes rain. A cloud is nothing but another form of water, or in other words, the water of the earth transformed into clouds. Similarly, the charity made by the kings in such sacrifices was but another form of the taxes collected from the citizens. But as the rain falls down very lavishly and appear to be more than necessary, the charity made by such kings also seemed to be more than what the citizens needs. Satisfied citizens will never organize agitation against the king, and thus there were no need in changing monarchical state. Even for a king like Maharaja Parikshit, there was a need of a spiritual master for guidance. Without such guidance, one cannot make progress in spiritual life. The spiritual master must be bona fide, and one who wants to have self-realization must approach and take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master to achieve real success.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 4. Nijagrahau jasavira.
Nijagrahau jasavira.
Kalim digvijaye kvachit.
Kalim
Digvijaye Kvachit.
Nrupalingadaram shudram.
Nipalingadaram Shudram
Gnantam gomithunam pada.
Nantam go me thunam pada.
Synonyms. Nijagraha, sufficiently punished.
Nijagraha,
Nijagraha
sufficiently punished.
Ojasa, by prowess.
Ojasa, by prowess.
Veera, valiant hero.
Veera, valiant hero.
Kalim, unto Kali.
Kalim,
Unto Kali,
The master of the age.
the master
the
of the
master
age.
of the age.
Digvijaye, on his way to conquer the world.
Digvijaye, on his way to conquer the world.
Kvachit, once upon a time.
Kvachit,
Once
once upon a time.
Nrupalingadaram, one who passes in the dress of a king.
Drupa Lingadaram,
Nripalingadharam, one who
One who passes
passes
in the dress of a king.
Shudram, the lower class.
Shudram, the lower class.
Yes,
Gnantham, hurting.
Nantam,
Dhanantam, hurting.
Ghanantam, hurting.
Gomithunam, a cow and bull.
Gomithanam, a cow
Gomituna,
and
a cow
bull.
and bull.
Pada on the leg.
Pada on
Pada
the leg.
on the leg.
Translation, please repeat after me. Once, when Maharaja Parikshit was on his way to conquer the world,
Once, when Maharaja
When
Parikshit
Maharaja
was on
Parikshit
his
was on his
way
way
to
to
conquer the world,
World.
he saw the master of Kali Yuga,
He
he saw
he
the master
saw
of
the
Kali
master
Yuga,
of Kali Yuga,
who was lower than a Shudra,
who was
who was
who was
lower
lower
than
than a
a
Shudra,
Shudra,
disguised as a king,
disguised
disguised as a king,
and hurting the legs of a cow and bull.
and hurting the legs
and
of a cow
hurting the
and
legs
bull.
of a cow and a bull.
The king at once caught hold of him
The king at once caught
The king
hold
at
of him
once caught hold of him
to deal sufficient punishment.
to deal sufficient
to
punishment.
give sufficient punishment.
Purpose.
The purpose of a king's going out to conquer the world is not for aggrandizement. What is that?
Aggrandizement.
Maharaja Parikshit went out to conquer the world after his ascendance of the throne to the throne, but this was not for the purpose of aggression on other states. He was the emperor of the world, and all small states were already under his regime. His purpose in going out was to see how things were going on in terms of godly state. The king, being the representative of the Lord, was to execute the will of the Lord duly. There is no question of aggrandizement. Thus, as soon as Maharaja Parikshit saw that the lower class men on the dress of a king was hurting the leg of a cow and a bull, at once he arrested and punished him. The king cannot tolerate insult to the most important animal, the cow, nor can he tolerate the disrespect of the most important man, the Brahmana. Human civilization means to advance the caste of Brahminical culture and to maintain it. Cow protection is essential. Thus, there is a miracle in milk, for it is certain. For it contains. Can you move it? There is a miracle in milk, for it contains all the necessary vitamins to sustain the human psychological conditions for higher achievements. Brahminical culture can advance only when man is educated to develop the quality of goodness. For this, there is a prime necessity of food prepared with milk, fruits, and grains. Maharaja Parikshit was astonished to see that a black Sudra, dressed like a ruler, was mistreating a cow, the most important animal in human society. The age of Kali means mismanagement and quarrel. And the root cause of all mismanagement and quarrel is that worthless men with the modes of lower class men who have no higher ambition in life come to the helm of a state management. Such men at the post of a king are sure to first hurt the cow and the Brahminical culture, thereby pushing the society or pushing all society towards hell. Maharaja Parikshit trained as he was, got the scent of this root cause of all quarrel in the world. Thus, he wanted to stop it in the very beginning.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 5. Shaunaka Vacha Kasya Hetor Nijagraha
Tasya hetu nijagraha
Kalim Digvijaye Nripa
kalim digvijaye nrpa
Nradeva Chinnadrik Sudra
nideva chinna jik shudra
Ko Saukham Yapadahanat
koso gamya padamanat
Tat Katyatham Mahabagha
tatyatam bhava
Yadi Krishna Kathashrayam.
yadi
Sri
krishna
Krishna
kathasraya.
Kathashraya.
Synonyms. Shaunaka Uvacha. Shaunaka Rishi said.
Shaunaka Uvacha.
Shaunaka
Shaunaka Rishi said.
said,
Kasya, for what?
Kasya,
Kasya,
for
for what?
Heto, reason.
Heto, reason.
Nijagraha, sufficiently punished.
May the grass
The ground has
sufficiently
sufficiently
punish
punished
Kalim, the master of the age of Kali.
Kalim,
the
the
master
master
of the age of Kali.
Digvijaye during the time of his world tour.
Digvijaye
during the time of his world tour.
world tour.
Nrpa, the king.
Nirpa, the king.
The king.
Nradeva, royal person.
Nradeva,
Nradeva, the
royal person.
royal person.
Chinadruk, decorated like.
Chinadurg, decorated
Chinadrika,
like.
Drika, decorated like.
Shudraka, lowest of the Shudras.
Shudraka.
The
Shudraka, lowest of the
Lowest of
Shudras.
the Shudras.
Asau, he.
Asau,
He.
Tham, cow.
Ram, cow.
Ya, one who.
Yeah,
one
one who.
Padahnat, struck on the leg.
Padahanat struck with his
struck on
leg.
the leg.
Tat, all that.
That all that
All that.
Katyatham, please describe.
Katyatham, please describe.
Mahabhaga, oh greatly fortunate one.
Mahabhaga, greatly
Mahabhaga,
fortunate one.
oh greatly fortunate one.
Yadi, if however.
Yadi,
However,
however,
Krishna, about Krishna.
Krishna, about
about
Krishna.
Krishna.
Katha Ashrayam, related with these topics.
Katha Ashrayam related with this topic.
Katha Ashram is related with this topic.
Translation, please repeat after me. Shaunaka Rishi inquired.
Shaunaka Rishi inquired.
Why did Maharaja Parikshit simply punish him?
Why did
Maharaja Parikshit simply punished him?
Since he was the lowest of the Shudras,
Since he was the lowest of the Shudras,
having just as a king and having struck a cow on the leg,
having
Just
just
as
a
a
cow
cow
on the leg,
Cow on the leg.
please describe all these incidents
please
describe
describe
all these
these
incidents
if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna.
if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna.
Incidents if they relate to topics of Lord Krishna.
Purport.
Saunaka and the rishis were astonished to hear that the pious Maharaja Parikshit simply punished the culprit and did not kill him. This suggests that a pious king like Maharaja Parikshit should have at once killed an offender who wanted to cheat the public by dressing like a king and at the same time daring to insult the pursuit of the animals.
Purest
A cow,
of animals.
purest of the animals. A cow up. The rishis in those days, however, could not even imagine that in the advanced days of the age of Kali, the lowest of the Sudras will be elected as administrators and will open organized slaughterhouses for killing cows. Anyway, although hearing about Sudraka, who was a cheat, the insulter of a cow was not very interesting to the great rishis. They nevertheless wanted to hear about it to see if the event had connection with Lord Krishna. They were simply interested in the topics of Lord Krishna for anything that is dovetailed with the narration of Krishna's words. Hearing. There are many topics in the Bhagavatam about sociology, politics, economics, cultural affairs, etc. But all of them are in the relation with Krishna, and therefore all of them are worth hearing. Krishna is the purifying ingredient in all matters, regardless of what they are. In the
mundane world,
In the mundane world, everything is impure due to its being a product of the three mundane qualities. The purifying agent, however, is Krishna.
Jai.
Jai Hari.
Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 6. Atavasya padam bhoja.
Atavasya padam bhoja.
Makarandaliham satam.
Makarandaliham
Himmanyaira sadalapir.
Himanye
Ayusho yadasadvyava vyaya.
Ayusho yat asat vyaha.
Synonyms athava otherwise.
Athava otherwise.
Asya face Lord Krishna's.
Asya is Lord Krishna's.
Lord Krishna.
Pada Amboja, lotus feet.
Padam Amboja, lotus feet.
Makarandaliham, of those who lick the honey from such a lotus flower.
Makaranda liham, of those who lick the honey from such a lotus flower.
Satam, of those who are to exist eternally.
Some of those who are to exist eternally.
Eternally.
Kimanye, what is the use of anything else?
What is the use of anything else?
Asat, illusory.
Asat, illusory.
Alabhai, topics.
Alapai, topics.
Ayusa, of the duration of life.
Ayusha, of the duration of life.
Yat, that which is.
Yet that which is
Asat, vyaya, unnecessary waste of life.
asat, vyaya, unnecessary waste of life.
Translation, please repeat after me. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking of the honey.
The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking of the honey
Available from the lotus feet of the Lord.
available from the lotus feet of the Lord.
What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable life?
What is the waste of topics which simply waste one's valuable life?
Valuable life. Good.
Purport. Lord Krishna and his devotees are both on the transcendental plane. Therefore, the topics of Lord Krishna and of his pure devotees are equally
good. The battle of Kurukshetra is full of politics and diplomacy, but because the topics are related with Lord Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita is therefore adored all over the world. There is no need to eradicate politics, economics, sociology, etc., which are mundane to the mundaners, to pure devotee, who is actually related with the Lord. Such mundane things are transcendental. If dovetailed with the Lord or with his pure devotees. We have here heard and talked about the activities of the Pandavas, and we now are dealing with these topics of Maharaja Parikshit. But because all these topics are related to the Lord Sri Krishna, they are all transcendental, and pure devotees have great interest in hearing them. We have already discussed this matter is in connection with the prayers of Vishnudeva. Our duration of life is not very long, and there is no certainty of when we shall be ordered to leave everything for the next stage. Thus, it is our duty to see that not a moment of our life is wasted in topics which are not related with Lord Krishna. Any topics which are not related with Lord Krishna, any topic, however pleasant, is not worth hearing if it is devoted of its relation to Krishna. The spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavana, the eternal abode of Lord Krishna, is shaped like the whole of lotus flower. Even when the Lord, whole of lotus, even when the Lord descends to any one of mundane planets. He does he does so by manifesting his own adobe as it is. Thus his feet remain always on the same big hole of the lotus flower. His feet are also as beautiful as the lotus flower. Therefore, it is said that Lord Krishna has lotus feet. A living being is eternal by constitution. He is, so to speak, in the whirlpool of birth and death due to his contact with the material energy. Freed from such material energy, a living entity is liberated and is eligible to return home, back to Godhead. Those who want to live forever without changing their material bodies should not waste valuable time with topics other than those relating to Lord Krishna and his devotees.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1, chapter 16, verse 7. Sudrayusham nrinam anga
Krishnayam
Yusham Niram Anga
martyanam ritham ichatham
Martyanam Ritam Ichatam
ihopahuto bhagavan
Ihopahuto Bhagavan
mrityushamitra karmani.
Mrityusamitra Karmani.
Synonyms: Kshudra, very small.
Shudra, very small.
very small.
Ayusham, of the duration of life.
Ayusham, of the duration of life.
Ayusham of the duration of life.
Nirnam, of the human beings.
Rinam, of the human beings.
Anga, O Suta Goswami.
Anga, O Sutta Goswami.
Martyanam, of those who are sure to meet death.
Martyanam, of those who are sure to meet death.
Ritham, eternal life.
Ritam, eternal life.
Ichatham, of those who desire it.
Ichatam, of those who desire it.
Iha, herein.
Iha, herein.
Upahutha, called for being present.
Upahuta, called for being present.
Bhagavan, representing the Lord.
Bhagavan, representing the Lord.
Mrityu, the controller of death.
Mrityu, the controller of death.
Yamaraja.
Yamaraja.
That's Yamaraja.
Shamitra, suppressing.
Samitra, suppressing.
Karmani, performances.
Karmani, performances.
Translation, please repeat after me. O Suta Goswami.
O Sutta Goswami.
There are those amongst men who desire freedom from death.
There are those amongst men who desire freedom from death
And get eternal life.
and get eternal life.
They escape the slaughtering process by calling the controller of death Yamaraja.
They escape the slaughtering process by calling the controller of death Yamaraja.
Controller of death Yamaraja.
Purport.
Wow.
The living entity, as it develops from lower animal life to a higher human being and gradually to higher intelligence, becomes anxious to get free from the clutches of death. Modern scientists try to avoid death by physiochemical advancement of knowledge, but alas, the controller of death, Yamaraja, is so cruel that he does not spare even the very life of the scientist himself. The scientist who puts forward the theory of stopping death by advancement of scientific knowledge becomes himself a victim of death when he is called by Yamaraj. What to speak of stopping death? No one can enhance the short period of life even by a fraction of a moment. The only hope of suspending the cruel slaughtering process of Yamaraja is to call him to hear and chant the holy name of the Lord. Yamaraja is a great devotee of the Lord, and he likes to be invited to kirtanas and sacrifices by the pure devotees. who are constantly engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, the great sages, headed by Shaunaka and others, invited Yamaraja to attend the sacrifice performed at Naimisharanya.
Haribol.
This was good for those who did not want to die. Hari Hari Bo. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 8. Na kaschin mriyate thavat.
न कश्चिन् म्रियते तथा
Yavadasta ihantaka.
यावदस्ता इहान्तः
Etadartham hi Bhagavan.
एतदर्थं हि भगवान्
Vedantam hi Bhagavan.
Ahuta Paramarshibhi.
आहूत परमर्षिभिः
Paramarshabhi.
Aho nriloke piyeta.
अहो नृलोके
Loke
पीयेत
Hari Leelamrutham vacha.
हरिलीलामृतं वच
Rudam Vacha.
Synonyms: na, not.
न not
Kaschit, anyone.
कश्चित् anyone
Mriyate, will die.
म्रियते will die
Will die.
Tavat, so long.
तावत् so long
Yavat, as long as.
यावत् as long as
Aste, is present.
आस्ते is present
Iha, herein.
इह herein
Antaka, one who causes the end of life.
Antaka, one who causes the end of life.
Etat, this.
Etat, this.
Artham, a reason.
Artham, reason.
He, certainly.
He certainly.
Bhagavan, the representative of the Lord.
Bhagavan, the representative of the Lord.
Representative of the Lord.
Ahuta, invited.
Ahuta, invited.
Invited.
Parama Rishibi, by the great sages.
Paramarishibi, by the great sages.
Aho, alas.
Oh, alas.
Nriloke, in human society.
Nriloke, in human society.
Human society.
Piyetha, let them drink.
Piyetha, let them drink.
Hari Leela, transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
Hari Leela, transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
Amrutham, nectar for eternal life.
Amritam, nectar for eternal life.
Vacha, narrations.
Vacha, narration.
Translation, please repeat after me. As long as Yamaraja,
As long as Yamaraja,
who causes everyone's death,
who causes everyone's death,
is present here,
Is present
is
here.
present here.
no one shall meet with death.
No one
No one shall meet with death.
The great sages have invited the controller of death, Yamaraja,
The great sages have invited the controller of death, Yamaraja,
Controller of the dead.
who is the representative of the Lord.
who is the representative of the Lord.
Living beings who are under his grip
Living beings who are under his grip
should take advantage by hearing the deathless nectar
should take advantage by hearing the deathless nectar
in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
Purport.
Purport. Every human being dislikes meeting death, but he does not know how to get rid of death. The surest remedy for avoiding death is to accustom oneself to hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord as they are systematically narrated in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is advised herein, therefore, that any human being who desires freedom from death should take to this course of life as recommended by the rishis headed by Shaunaka.
Hari Om Tat Sat. So very nice. So in this way, we are going to complete the Srimad Bhagavatam reading of first canto, because this is mandatory prayer to initiation, and some who has not completed but took initiation can keep their vow. Thank you very much. Jai Sri Ganandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai.
Anybody has any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. 5, 4, 3,
2,
1.
0.
Thank you very much for your association. So let's meet again tomorrow evening, not tomorrow, Monday evening at 8 o'clock sharp. Evening, 8 o'clock sharp. Continue Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 1, chapter 16, verse 9 onwards. Till then, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank
Hari
you.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
Thank